Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DSG webinar series. I am here today with another interesting webinar, which we are going to conduct with the team called SciSpace, which is so far away from Malaysia. Both of you are not near, Rowan and Alok. And I'm so excited to introduce you to the audience in Malaysia because we've been hearing about Copilot and we want to know what it is all about. So this webinar is about talking about Copilot, the AI assistant for reading and understanding research papers. And this will be presented by Rowan, senior research scientist at SciSpace. And Alok will be helping, will be answering also some questions. He is the product marketing at SciSpace. So how are you doing, both of you? Are you fine?
Yeah, we are good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you also for agreeing to do this session, because when I talked to Sakiran, I told him that we need already people in Malaysia already need to know about Copilot and how AI is going to help them with their research papers, right? Especially those who are doing thesis writing. So go ahead, Rowan. Would you like to share your screen and then you can start right away?
Sure. Thank you, Anita, for the introduction. So, hi everyone. Welcome to this talk. So, you all have maybe heard a bit about SciSpace Copilot, and let me open up the website. So, we currently have the older domain of typeset.io. So that's how you reach the website. Our entire branding is SciSpace. It's an AI research assistant that will basically help you to read and understand research papers faster, right? So, nowadays, one of the problems as researchers we all face, myself being a researcher, is that there is so much content getting published so fast. It's difficult to keep track of things. So we want to go through research papers quickly. Try to gauge whether that research paper is helpful for us, and then decide whether to read. So that is our whole aim. To make research more accessible, easy to read and understand complex topics, and so on. So, right, this is our website. We have a search bar for where you can search any papers. Okay, we can start with one of the most popular papers in ML domain, at least, which is the transformer paper which triggered all this generative AI boom, right? So let's say you see the result, you open the paper. Now here you have the PDF for all the open access all the open access material, right? You have PDF, you have the title, abstract, you have some pills, what we call as clickable questions, right? And on the right side you have your Copilot, right? So let me start with English. We can go to Malay later. So in Copilot, eventually this is your chatbot that is going to help you to understand research papers, right? So maybe you have seen this paper for the first time. You want to just understand the contributions of this paper, right? You just click on the contributions. It will quickly give you what are the contributions of the paper. Now we are starting with English. So these are the contributions of the paper. New architecture for sequence transaction tasks. It works on achieve state of the art on machine translation. So this is pretty damn accurate, right? There are other questions here, right? You can get the abstract in 2 lines. What is the results of the paper, conclusion? So let's say what data has been used in the paper. That's a very common question. We don't want to search through the paper and stuff. So it tells you, right? So it uses a standard WMT dataset, which has this many sentence pairs. The English dataset has this many sentence pairs, and so on. That's great information, right? To start with. Now you can ask a follow-up question. What is, maybe you don't know WMT dataset. Okay. Right? You can ask a follow-up question. It will answer that also, right? So it's a standard data set for machine translation. Sentences were encoded how, and so on. So this is one feature. You can start with question answering straight away. Now maybe looking at the contributions, you decide, okay, I want to read this paper in detail, right? Now you start reading the paper. Okay. For demo, let's say sometimes you can find the abstract to be difficult to understand because researchers have a lot of word limits to follow, right? And that's why they use very lot of jargon language, lot of complex language to ensure everything fits in a particular word limit, right? Let's say I don't understand the first 4 lines of abstract, or maybe more, right? So now as soon as you highlight, you get 2 options. Explain text is to elaborate the text so that it comes out in simple terms. Summarize is when there's a large chunk, but you don't want to waste time reading it through, right? So let's go with both the options. So explain text will, you'll see here in Copilot, you have explained the text, and it will generate the output. Let's wait a second for the output, right? So now this is a longer explanation, but it's very simple terms, very simplified. Any complex terms are explained here, right? For example, blue. It's not explained in the abstract, but this explanation does it, right? Because we want to make it very simple. So by reading this, you should be able to understand it completely, right? Now, if there is a larger text, right? This is a background that I don't want to read thoroughly, but I want to quickly get a summary of it. You can generate a summary. So it solves both the purposes, to read something faster and maybe to understand something better. So summary, it's basically a 2-point summary, a short summary of the text, and you are done with that paragraph, right? On any answer, you can give a thumbs up, thumbs down. That helps us understand, okay, where are we doing well? What parts can we improve on the Copilot, right? So these are some of the top features. One amazing feature that we provide is explain math and table, right? So if there are usually complex equations, right? For example, this one for attention. Now ML people might be aware of this equation, but if someone's reading it for the first time, all you have to do is just highlight, take a snip of this equation. Now that will be sent to your Copilot. Now Copilot will try to explain that to you in as simple terms as possible. So you can send it maths and tables to get it explained. Sometimes tables are very complex and big. We don't want to, go through row by row and get it explained. So this does a fantastic job. Now, if you see, it tells that it represents the attention mechanism used in this paper. It is used to connect encoder and decoder. Now it also explains in detail, in such great detail, right? These are the matrices representing query, key values. There's a softmax function, and everything in detail. It also tells, how it uses it in a way, right? So that's pretty great, right? If I've seen this equation for the first time, that helps me a lot. Now, there's another feature, for example, these are the main, what we call, onboarding or generic questions that most of the papers we need to decide whether to read or not. But let's say I want to ask a brainstorm questions. We have this feature where you can, if you are not able to think of some questions, we help brainstorm, right? So let's say I'm brainstorming about BERT model. I'm thinking about BERT model, but I don't know what questions to ask. So when I brainstorm questions, it will now give me questions which connect this paper and BERT and how they can, how I can think in that direction, right? So for example, so for example, how is this more parallelizable? So sometimes it's a ML model, so sometimes it might not find a lot of BERT questions. Then in that case, it will just give a lot of questions regarding this paper. So basically, it's for you to start brainstorming in your brain. Okay, this can also happen. This can also happen. It's just to help the thought process, right? So yeah, those are the main features. And as you go through the paper, the way we expect is use the onboarding questions to decide how deep you want to go into the paper. This will tell you like most of the basic stuff. Then once you start reading the paper, highlight text, get summaries, get explanations, highlight math and equation. Let me give a simple example where, let's say, you highlight blue, let's say, and ask it to explain. It will explain just a single term as well, right? So many times if you're reading, chemistry papers or biomedical papers, there are terminologies that you don't understand. You can just highlight those and you will get a explanation for that, right? So you get an explanation, basic explanation for blue. It ranges from 0 to 1. It's for evaluating machine translation, basically. Now, another amazing feature that we have, we have discussed follow-up questions, right? You can keep chatting, going deep. That's what we want, right? So if you see, there's a sign up to take notes, so save as note option, right? And also you see there's something called highlights. So for that, we'll have to sign up. Now sign up is basically, you can use normal email address and password, or you can just use your Google login. So that's what I will currently do. So the entire website is free, so you can just use your existing Google logins, which most of us have, right? Now, since I've read this paper, I have some highlights there. So for example, now, okay, right, this equation was complex for me. I want to save it as a note, right? So as soon as I click here, now this is my note, right? This is an explanation of this. Okay, now if I go to my notes, so now, okay, this is the one I added. There was some already. This is the one I added. So I can quickly make notes, and then at the end, maybe if when I want to revise or go through the paper quickly, I'll just go through my notes. I don't need to read the entire paper again, right? You can, if there is some important line, let's say, for example, right, the decoder is a stack of six identical layers. You can just highlight it, right? Because it's an important line. And you can also add a note, important fact, let's say, about the paper. Right? Now this is a note here. So you can switch to notes quickly by just one button click. And it really helps read research papers faster. Sometimes, it saves a lot of time and it helps you understand in depth. Now, I know, like, we want to make research more accessible, right? So that's why we have this language feature where we support like around 50 to 70 languages. And let's say, let's go for Malay language, since you all are from Malaysia,
Yes. Mm.
right? And now we can ask a question, right? Maybe again we can ask you what are contributions of the paper. Now what I'm trying to tell you here is, for example, you can ask a question in English, expect the output in Malay, right? Now, so this is English to regional, right? But what if someone doesn't want to type in English? Your typing language is Malay. So let's say the question is, what does paper talk about? This is the translation from Google. You can ask that directly. You don't need to write in English for Copilot to work. You can write in your regional languages, right? You still get an answer, right? Also, you can even read regional language papers. So this is an English paper. 90% of the papers in the world are English, but we also want to make research accessible so that people read in their own papers in their own language, literature, right? So you can open any PDF in your own language, and that will also work, right? You will get question answers from that PDF. So now what we started was a SciSpace paper that was hosted on our website. We have a lot of papers, like around 200 million papers, and all the open access papers will have PDF. But there will be research always, publishes a lot of papers every day, every week, and a lot of PDFs don't have open access. So we have given the option to upload. So now there is a feature, let's say even from home website, or there's a My Library folder, but you need to be logged in to get this feature, right? So you go to library. Now I have a lot of folders here, right? You can upload, select any PDF, it will come here, and you will have the same experience. Let's say I open this PDF. So my default language currently, it says Malay, so it's there. I can see all my chat from before, that will always be there, right? Maybe some, yeah. Right, let's take this paper. So yeah, so all the chat will be there. There will be Copilot, there will be notes. You can create any notes, you can create math and table, right? All this is really helpful to read any new paper, right? Okay, this is a new paper I opened. Let's say I just want to understand the conclusion from this paper before I even decide to read it.
Mm. Sorry, Rowan, can you show again how do we do the explain math and table? Can you show
Yeah,
very slowly just
sure.
now? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So maybe let's start from the beginning. Okay. Right. We show some papers for start with, but you can search anything. Right. You open a paper. You click on this. Right. There is a full screen mode. So there you have like no distraction, just you and the Copilot. That's it. Full focus reading environment. Right. You go to the equation which you want. I mean, you might be reading there, right? So this is one equation. Let's pick another equation, right? This is another equation. You click on this explain math and table at the top, right? It will open a square, kind of a plus sign, and then you can drag the equation. That's it. right? And then it will generate the thing. And for highlight, you just need to drag any text, and then you have the option to highlight, summarize, or explain. You can click
That's
on.
really useful. That is really useful. Yeah. Okay.
So here also you have got a very detailed explanation of this. Now since it's Malay, I can't read it, but I can see it's talking about all the three inputs, this weight matrices and stuff. So right, yeah. So we can. So the full screen mode is for like more
Yeah.
no disturbance mode. Uh,
Sorry. Yeah,
yeah.
sorry, Ron. I was just telling that it explains in perfect Malay. You know, it
Oh,
does explain. Yeah, because I can read that. Wow, this is gonna change a lot of reading process, because among the problems is understanding English papers, right? For our Malay students, postgraduates.
right.
Okay. Hmm.
Sure. So one more thing that is a feature is, right, there's a option to import from Zotero. Now I know a lot of researchers have they have their collections on Zotero where they have like hundreds of PDFs made in folder wise. So they don't want to switch out from Zotero, but we give the option to import from Zotero where all your entire hundreds of PDFs will be transferred to SciSpace, right? With just one or two button clicks, right? You just have to now all this is for me it's connected, so you can see the folders from Zotero already here, and then you can start reading those PDFs on SciSpace. So that has helped a lot of researchers as well, right? Yeah. So recently we also launched another tool. So firstly, I mean, I would say like I would encourage all of you to use it extensively. It's free at least until further notice. There are no immediate plans of anything, and we are taking a lot of effort to improve it daily. Now, like some of the things I would like to tell. Let's just quickly open the paper. That those are coming up, so that gets you more excited, right? So we plan to now also start giving you references to other papers while you're asking questions. So let's say you ask a question, we also tell you which other papers talk about the similar stuff. So you, in a way, it helps you, to know that okay, there are these other papers that I can read, that I can understand what method they have applied. So we are starting to give references, and like we are working on adding a lot more features. So there's active development going on. It's relatively new, I would say. We launched in November, so it's new, but we have got tremendous response. I mean, everyone's liking it, and obviously there might be some issues that you face, and there's a Discord channel, there's a Twitter handle that you can tell, and then we will quickly get into action to resolve an issue, right? And so one more thing, we have this feature called trace, right? So okay, let me just do two things. So there's a bookmark option, right? So any paper on SciSpace you can add to your collection so that it stays in your collection. You don't have to search for it every time, right? So if I add it in my prompt engineering collection, if I go to library, to my prompt engineering, it will be there, right? So that's if you are searching for papers on SciSpace, you find something, you add it to your collection. Another feature is something called as trace, right? So trace is helpful for doing literature survey. The way is, right, you can go deep into any direction. Let's say you find this as a related paper, you check the citations, okay, you find another related paper, okay, you go to the authors. Now you want to see papers of Geoffrey Hinton, okay, you want to see his top papers, right? And now you're like, okay, I've reached dead end here. I mean, I've got what I want, but I want to come back and maybe start another paper. So this is a trace feature. You can keep on going and coming back, and it's like unlimited, right? So that really helps in doing literature survey. Yeah, so that's another feature. So recently we also launched something called a intelligent citation generator. Now a lot of times people read papers and want to generate citations, so it's not easy. So we have a very smart citation where you can copy paste any text from anywhere and we generate a citation. For example, this is an archive link, right? And you don't need to fill in all the details. You can just copy paste something here, right? That's all you need, and you have to click generate citation. it will quickly generate a citation for you. You have so many styles also, which you can generate, APA being the most popular one, right? That's it. That information is converted into a more formatted, structured information, and your citation is there, right? All the standard techniques also work, but there's an intelligence added to it. Uh, right so yeah, coming back to Copilot, right? So we would encourage again to all of you to use, extensively. If there are any issues in Malay language, do let us know. We'll try to fix those.
Mm.
uh, right and yeah, that's it pretty much from my side to start with. I think if anyone has any questions, we can take them.
Right. Yes, we do have one here. The question is, how many papers can we upload, or is it unlimited? Do we have a limit to how many
No,
can we
currently there is
process?
no limit. So I would like be happy to tell that since the launch in last 3 months, we have around total 10 lakh PDFs that have been uploaded already.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I can't be happy enough, Ron, because I think this is among the thing that we help researchers a lot, because what we are doing when we are reading literature review, right? And it is so lonely to read the papers. You don't know what to do sometimes, right? And with this Copilot, you can actually interact and ask questions and get your feedback. And the most important feature is translate to your own native language, which I think is so interesting, because there are sometimes that it's not that we don't understand English, we do understand, but
Yeah,
if the explanation is in our own language, it's easier for us, right?
that's
So
true.
okay, yeah. Alok, do you have anything to add? Maybe.
Not much. I think Rohan has covered almost everything. So Anita,
Mm,
just to point out, if we have any questions more, I think we would like to take it up. Like we want to
okay.
ask minutes for that. Yeah.
Right. So we would invite DSG members to come and sign in, create your own library, yeah, and then upload your papers, ask questions, and interact with Copilot, because I believe that your research experience is going to be better, yeah, and it's going to be so I think less lonely. That's what it is, yeah. That has been my experience. I've used Copilot now. I mean, like the last 2 weeks, and I like it so much, yeah, because I am
Right.
currently doing my literature review as well for a DBA paper. So thank you so much, both of you, Rohan and Alok. This recording will remain in the SG, and I'll send you a copy once it's ready on YouTube. It's a pleasure having both of you. Hopefully, we can get more updates later. Yeah, when you have more features,
Sure,
or when
sure.
you're ready to roll out, the
Right.
next
Yeah.
plan. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would encourage everyone to follow our Discord servers. And so, one just thing, like going forward, we also planning to have a feature where once in your library collection, you have all the PDFs. Let's say, for example, prompt engineering, it's a popular thing nowadays, right? And you have a lot of PDFs for that. Then, going forward, we'll have a Copilot that answers questions from any of these PDFs that you have in a particular collection. So usually all
Mm,
of the collections are very topic oriented, right? All the papers regarding a particular topic go in one folder. So we'll ask Copilot to answer across these papers, right? So when you ask one question, but you get answers from what does this paper say about it? What does this paper say about it? Right? So I would encourage everyone to create, collections, add a lot of similar papers in that collection that will help you going forward. You might you might start reading one paper, but you'll get insights from multiple papers.
wow, that is so interesting. Yeah, and we are actually in a very exciting time, yeah, Rowan. Since ChatGPT and all the other AI tools coming, I'm so excited to have this community, getting to get all the updates, from all engineers like you. So keep working hard, do the hard work for us so that we can enjoy our research. All right. Thank you, both of you. So I will catch up in email. Yeah. So I'll send something. And then hopefully we'll get more updates later, if you have anything else after this, just let me know so we can do, another session. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you,
Yeah.
both of you.
Thank you,
Have a
Anita.
good,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
have a
you.
good evening ahead. All right. Bye.